Well, tonight we're dishing the dirt on Prosser, kind of. Well, samples of soil from Washington town were taken by PNNL scientists and launched into space, making their way to the International Space Station.
And those samples are part of a NASA study named Dynamos. They spent 3 months in space, and today they returned to Richland, ready to be studied by experts.
Now, what they find could have huge implications on the future of growing plants in space or on planets. I was there to hear from the scientists when those samples arrived. Take a look at this. As the sun crested over the PNNL campus on Monday morning, Ryan McClure, Yulia Ferris, and their colleagues anxiously awaited this truck.
Cannot describe the feeling of excitement. It's happening. It's finally we at the point where they are back here and we get to start doing our science.
Inside, 104 precious samples of soil from Prosser, kept at a comfortable negative 112 degrees, well, at least for the soil. Half of them spent 3 months on the International Space Station. The other half stayed on Earth at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
I was very anxious to break open those boxes. It was like a second Christmas.
It's actually very exciting because I was there to set them up and send them out in space. I watched the whole thing, the launch.
It's an experiment years in the making. Last July, 52 tubes of Prosser soil were launched on the SpaceX CRS-25. Yulia helped prep the samples.
The sound of the launch is something that cannot be described.
While on board, ISS scientists maintain the samples. So what are these experts trying to dig up on Prosser?
We really wanted to understand what are the differences in the microbial responses on Earth versus in an environment where there is no gravity. That's one of the main questions we're trying to answer with this experiment.
What they find could shape the future of growing food in space or even on other planets.
These bacteria are helping plants grow, and as of right now, we do have plants growing in space. But we're hoping that this community will help plants grow faster, produce more, and will be easy to maintain.
Yulia isn't talking about a community of people. It's the community of bacteria that they inoculated each sample with. She says they started with billions of cultures, narrowing it down to just 8 they believe will help plants grow better.
They interact with each other, can step in for each other to do each other work, and they are in the most unique and the most abundant way.
You're probably wondering why soil from Prosser. Experts say it best resembles Washington soil overall, and the specific site has been untouched for the last 50 years.
It's subject to a lot of the stresses that we're really interested in looking at, including high temperatures like our Tri-City summers and low moisture.
Sandy soil that we kind of see in a lot of other planets, including Moon and Mars, so it's kind of very close to what we have here.
It'll be a tedious process to analyze the soil. All 104 samples will undergo testing on a molecular and metabolic level, a process worth digging into for this eager team.
We really need to break open these samples and start attacking them with some of these methods to see where the changes are.
I'm going to see what's happening.
Still exciting stuff, who knew? And these microbial samples have to eat while spending time in space. Members aboard the ISS kept the soil fed with chitin. That's essentially the exoskeletons of crustaceans and other nutrient-rich cells. We'll be following this story as scientists unearth the results, and we hope to get a behind-the-scenes look at the lab or the soil in the lab very soon.